Hello and welcome to today's review of the Transformers Henkei / Classics Mirage. Brilliant stuff. Look, I'm just gonna get straight to it right across the board. I think this figure is truly splendid. And yeah, overall, just looking at him, you think, oh my god, it's a really unique kind of shape for a Transformer. He's all nice and slender. There's not really much kibble anywhere. Even these front wheels, I think they just kind of add to his coolness. Now, generally he's really neat. He's even got a chromed out weapon, chromed out toes, which become the spoiler for the car. And generally he's just a brilliant little thing to look at. We're going to be moving on to articulation, basically, straight away, because I don't have an awful lot to add to this, besides the fact that it was £10 on release, and he really is splendid. And since this is the Takara version, there's going to be a handful of differences between what this is and what Hasbro put out. But I don't think they're all too major, and they're not going to affect the way I rank this figure, to be honest. So let's get straight to it. Articulation. So, articulation for this guy is as follows. The shoulder joints are on balls. Go all the way around, even with that kind of a wheel bit at the back, which is really good. He's got a double elbow, bicep swivel. He has inward wrists for the transformation, but they don't do anything else. If we move on to the head, it goes all the way around, up, down, nowhere else really. It can go a little bit to the side or whatever, but besides that, it just spins. Waist, full 360. Leg up that much. Leg back this much. Maximum knee. Could get a bit of a knee forward if that's something you really want to play with. You've got toes, really, really deep going toes, or ankle pivots, whatever. It's all the same stuff. Legs kick out this much so you can do the splits. And yeah, he's got all the standard joints for classics or any Transformer for that matter, but he's also got the ankle pivots. And what makes him better than most Transformers is all of his joints have really good range, which is kind of something that isn't too common. Sometimes you'll get a figure with maybe knees or elbows, one of the two that might have good range. Mirage is just great across the board, so brilliant stuff. From here, we're just going to jump straight in to our size comparison. So, size comparison for Henkei Mirage. We're going to go with Classic Starscream, Combiner Wars Wheeljack, Ralph, Steve. Yeah, generally I'm quite cool with all of these being roughly the same size. Mirage being a little bit taller doesn't bother me that much. Specifically, he's a little bit taller than Wheeljack. The difference between him and Starscream doesn't seem to be as much. And you could definitely tell there's a change in design language when it comes to what the general Transformer looks like. Back in Classics, we have these figures which have very unique shapes. They are very, very different. But then you move over to Combiner Wars and everyone's a chunky mess. Now, I know that's probably in part due to the fact that Hasbro really wanted to make everything uniform. They started caring about scale, and they were using a bunch of retools to get as many figures out as possible. So a lot of figures do end up looking as chunky as Wheeljack is, but hey, it's neither here nor there. It doesn't bother me too much, but I do think Hasbro's modern design language of everything being animation accurate and just all chunky and not using too many unique shapes, it just bores me. Mirage, by comparison, and this Starscream here, which was the last review, truly brilliant, truly just exceptional. I think generally they're very unique robot modes. All the shapes and stuff, they're all different, especially for this time. G1 hadn't really been redone. They weren't remaking all of these figures like they are nowadays, where we've had Kingdom Mirage, we had a Siege one, and now, yeah, that's just the world we live in. Mirage is just a very special figure from a bygone era. Moving on from there, let's talk about the transformation. moving on from here, the transformation. So for the vehicle mode for Henkei Mirage, it's generally really beautiful. You know, you've got all this decked out paint across the front of the vehicle mode and the sides. Got this whole section here. 26 on the side. This side we got the chromed out spoiler. Got this is the gun, but it also becomes this front section, which is really nice. I don't know the terms for all this stuff, so whatever. Yeah, beautiful stuff. You've got the cockpit here as well. There's unfortunately not anyone sculpted in there, but it is there's a seating area and stuff, which is really nice. You know, generally I'm very happy with how this turned out. Wheels are pinned as well, they were all great. This is just an example of what Magic, Hasbro and Takara were doing in the mid-2000s. You know, generally it's really beautiful stuff. It's incredibly clean from the underside too. I don't know if you'd be able to figure out that this was a proper transformer. Sure, there's a couple lines going on, but other than that, you can't see anything that goes, oh yeah, that's a robot. And that's really cool. You know, everything hides away so nicely, and I don't have any complaints at all. Also, there's this opening section here. Not kind of sure what purpose it serves. Vehicle mode, bit scared. It's there, you know, it's included. And for size comparison, Dark of the Moon Bumblebee, Combiner Wars Rook, Ralph, Dave. Yeah, beautiful stuff. When it comes to scaling with minifigures and whatnot, I think Ralph looks really good with it. Steve, you know, quite good. He's an adult, you know, got the tall minifigure legs, or the standard ones for that matter. Ralph's got the short ones. Tall ones would be like the avatars and Woody. But anyway, beautiful stuff all across the board. I think it looks nice with most of the vehicles. Bit weird with Rook, considering he's a SWAT vehicle and he's a big beefy boy. Dark of the Moon Bumblebee, however, I think they look really good together. I'm not sure if the scale is quite there, if you want to be real about it, but I generally think this vehicle mode is great. So I'm going to put this section here right before the final thoughts, and I'm just going to start in transforming him to show it off. Now, if we get the legs like this is basically how they're configured for robot mode. Okay, but when you put them together, or you could do this separately, but for the sake of showing how it would look in vehicle mode, I'm going to kind of start doing the transformation again, put them together. Now these sections with the just behind where the kneecaps are, fold them inwards and the exhaust pipes come out, which is really cool. I don't know who thought of this, you know, the designer behind this one. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Here we have the beautiful little Hasbro and Takara stamps. Really cool stuff. Yeah, generally this is truly a little brilliant feature. I love how the legs collapse and everything as well, and the way these arms just kind of tuck in and hook onto these sections, absolutely wonderful. Just everything about this transformation is pure bliss, and I really thought that kind of kneecap exhaust feature was really worth pointing out. So moving on to my final thoughts. So overall, my final thoughts for Henkei Mirage. Aesthetics on this go 5 out of 5. Absolutely stunning in both modes. If I was talking about the classics version, which Hasbro put out, maybe it'd be a little bit different, because that could have some issues and things that this doesn't. And Issues that it doesn't? No, I mean issues. That figure might have issues. Yeah, that this doesn't. Yeah, never mind. Anyway, beautiful stuff across the board. Aesthetically pleasing in both modes, and it's just really nice to kind of look at and feel. Transformation on this guy is a definite 5 as well. It's buttery smooth, like the outcome as well is bloody amazing. The weapon storage on this is truly brilliant. There's not too many figures that really impress me with weapon storage. This is one of them. I love the way it integrates into the vehicle mode. Sadly, it does mean if you lose the weapon, your vehicle mode isn't complete. But I think it's a really cool bit of engineering. Articulation on this guy is a 5 out of 5 as well. For a classics figure, because I want to look at these in a bubble, right? Compare it to what was around at the time. For classics, this was amazing. Nowadays, it's still amazing. It poses better than almost every figure I own. All of his joints are incredibly far-ranging. He's got ankles and head movements great. Just everything about him is truly splendid to handle. The only issue is this mold is prone to getting a bit loose over time. I've not had to worry about that so much, but it is something to take into consideration. Now, value for money on this guy as well. Bearing in mind, this was a Henkei figure, but this mold was like around £10 on release as an old deluxe. Brilliant stuff. It sucks that modern figures nowadays, which are 25 for a deluxe, they aren't even coming anywhere close to this. I will take this over anything that gets put out nowadays at the Voyager size class. Hell, I'd probably take it over all the Voyagers and Leaders as well. Like, this is truly it, right? I prefer this over like every Commander class I own. Maybe, look, this is just really good, right? I love it across the board, all 5s. Overall, 5 out of 5. Just truly a bloody fantastic deluxe. So this has been AnimatedCHUG. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.